Keith Urban seems to have it all. However, when an encounter with the paparazzi turns into a tragedy, he surprisingly loses everything. Keith Urban was born in New Zealand in October 1967, and his family moved to Australia when he was young. His parents eventually settled in Brisbane, where they ran a small shop and lived in a house behind the shop. Urban's wife, Nicole Kidman, told Glamor that Urban had a charmed childhood. He grew up on a farm in a barn. They had no bedroom. 4 of them lived in the barn. They talked about the community coming to help their family because they had nothing. Poverty was a problem, but Urban also had to deal with his father's drug addiction, which led to violence. "My father was an alcoholic, and I grew up in an alcoholic family," Urban told Rolling Stone. "I remember him mastering physical training. I don't remember him saying he loved me when I was little." When Urban becomes a father himself, he comes face to face with his father. But his father doesn't remember that. I don't think he denied it, and he doesn't remember. "Did he hit you?" "I have never done this before." When Urban was just 9 years old, the family faced further hardships when their house burned down. As he accepted the 2016 Country Radio Artist Humanitarian Award, he said his family's love of country music helped him get through the award. "I was fine, but I lost everything. It wasn't much, but it was all I had. Our country music club didn't hesitate to launch a fundraising campaign for us. I saw the kind hearts of this community in action, helping others, and it had a huge impact on me." The experience shaped Urban and helped him pursue philanthropy after becoming a successful country star. Whenever he's asked to explain or define what country music is, he's generous. "No matter where you come from, what I think is it's about community." Like his father, Urban also had a problem with drug addiction. As Urban explained in a 2016 interview with Rolling Stone, this became an issue when he moved to Nashville in the early 1990s. His drug use changed when his roommate asked him if he wanted to use cocaine. "One day he gave me this big pipe. I didn't have it before, but it looked good, so I bought it. It didn't go well right away, but it was a start," he said. Urban faced disappointment from the start. His career in the country music capital of the world led him to abuse drugs and alcohol. "I drank more. I started taking more medicine. The 90s were terrible. I'm so depressed that I find comfort in healthy things." How bad was it? According to Urban's former songwriting partner Vernon Rust, cocaine use reached truly shocking proportions. Rust's book, Fake News, reveals that Urban once took $320,000 worth of cocaine, writing, "I lived in a studio. I drank a lot of coke and couldn't sleep for days." In the late 1990s, Urban couldn't ignore how much drugs and alcohol were controlling his life. He told Rolling Stone, "I felt good when I wasn't on stage. I felt like I didn't have much to offer. I was just a stranger." He turned to cocaine and ecstasy to recapture the feelings he felt when he wasn't performing on stage. But in the end, the things that made him feel better made him feel worse. Realizing he needed to change, he made the difficult decision to seek help, and in 1998, he entered rehab and regained consciousness. In an interview with The Times, Urban said he has no problem enjoying what other people want, but joked that he can't do so for legal reasons. "I just realized I'm allergic to it. Someone asked, 'Are you allergic? What happens when you drink alcohol?' I said, 'I'll break the chain.'" Urban met his future wife, Nicole Kidman, at a gala held in Los Angeles in 2005 in honor of the talented Australian. Kidman and Urban married in Sydney, Australia in June 2006 after dating for a year. Although the marriage seemed long-lasting and happy, Urban admitted that he had trouble connecting with others. He explained in an interview with Variety that this was due to his upbringing, particularly his somewhat distant relationship with his father. "I changed the song because growing up I sometimes wanted to apologize or say, 'I love you,' to someone before they were out of my life," Urban said of his Say Something single. "Dead Man, I had no chance." She believed that her relationship with Kidman allowed her to better express her feelings to those close to her. "I had to marry Nick to learn all that and learn how to communicate and speak well. Of course I want to marry Nick." He also expressed his gratitude that his daughters have an emotionally open family life and do not face such difficulties. "I'm glad my daughters are in a completely different environment where they can always talk about things. In 2006, a few months after marrying Nicole Kidman, Keith Urban's illness recurred. All he had to do was check into the Betty Ford Center, though he never revealed what that meant. "You can never relax during recovery, and unfortunately that's the truth," he said in a statement. He left the facility in January 2007 after 3 months of treatment and later explained on his website why he chose to spend so much time in rehab. Learning about abstinence and having another area of life to learn, 30 days turned into 60 days, 60 days turned into 90 days, and I found myself week after week learning how to surrender. Considering they were newlyweds a few months after their wedding, the timing didn't seem right. However, Urban later revealed on Andrew Denton's The Interview that it was Kidman who arranged for him to return to rehab. "My wife arranged an engagement. It was sacred. I would say divine intervention, but it's true and it really happened. It was love in action and the timing was divine. The path I'm on now is the path I wish I'd been on." Urban's live shows are full of energy and good times. Unfortunately, the 2021 put-in show, Bay, Ohio, is the production. It would be Urban's last tour as manager Randy "Baja" Fletcher was involved in a fatal accident prior to the show. According to the Port Clinton News-Herald, Fletcher fell off the stage and suffered serious injuries. He was taken to a nearby hospital but died the next day. He was 72 years old. After Fletcher died, Urban posted the following tribute. "Some people ask, is your glass half full or half empty?" He asks Baja's comment, "What a beautiful glass I kissed, and he thank you for choosing us 10 years. Celebrities are often followed by paparazzi, and this pursuit can sometimes be difficult. They can also be horribly wrong, as was the case with the disaster that took Princess Diana's life." Of course, Urban has had his fair share of trouble with the paparazzi, and as a result, he's been in some scary, life-threatening situations. In October 2007, Urban was riding his motorcycle to a drinking party in Sydney, Australia, when a photographer followed him on his motorcycle. While chasing Urban, he had an accident while trying to pass an oncoming car. "While driving to an AA meeting, when my privacy was so important to me, I felt like I was being followed," Urban said in a statement. "I had no choice but to leave my bike to avoid a car making an illegal U-turn while accelerating." Fortunately, Urban was not injured in the accident. He also took credit for chasing the paparazzi who came to his aid after the accident. "My stalker actually came to my rescue and helped me off the road without even taking a picture. I came home, got my car, and hit the road." Urban was on his way to a charity gala in Los Angeles in September 2014 when he received the tragic news that his father-in-law, Dr. Anthony Kidman, from Singapore, he died after collapsing in his hotel room. He then took to Facebook to apologize for the 11 a.m. cancellation. "I'm so sorry I couldn't perform this weekend. We are deeply saddened by the passing of Nick's father and are traveling to Australia to be with his family. Thank you so much for your love, prayers, and support during this devastating loss." A few weeks later, Nicole appeared on NBC's Today program and spoke with interviewer Maria Shriver about her father's unexpected death. He credits his trust and close relationship with Urban for helping him get through tough times. "I lost my father, and this is very painful for my family and me. I have a happy husband and a strong faith. I have both." Urban certainly had issues with his father, but their relationship wasn't bad. It was his father, Robert Urban, who introduced him to country music at a young age and exposed him to various musical influences that they modeled him as an urban artist. In late 2015, Keith stopped by the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum to see an exhibit dedicated to him. In an interview about the exhibition, he said that his father had terminal cancer and received treatment at a hospice. "It's probably only a few weeks. I've only been doing this for the last few days. It all happened at a very strange time in a career that is usually very high and very low at the same time." Kate's assessment was both sad and overly optimistic. A few days later, she announced Robert's death in a statement to Us Weekly. His long battle with cancer is over, and he is finally at peace. Keith Urban doesn't apologize for crying all the time. In fact, he told Rolling Stone in 2016 that he was actually motivated to do it for his own sanity more than anything else. "If I don't cry for a while, I'm depressed. Then once a month I get caught in heavy rain and cry loudly and feel fine for a few weeks. The streets are clean, the sky is blue, no humidity, it's beautiful," says Urban, who says it doesn't take much to shed tears. As he explained in an interview with Andrew Denton's The Interview, his emotions keep running high over things big and small. Eventually, a point is reached where they can no longer be accommodated and the dam literally bursts. "I mean, all the little things, the passage of time, kids growing up, losing friends, losing loved ones for different reasons.